Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. A man has been hurt in a late afternoon incident at the city's power plant.
That's right. According to Fairbanks City fire officials, the unidentified man who was an employee at the plant apparently became lodged in a coal chute. The accident occurred around 2 o'clock this afternoon at the power plant located on 1st Avenue. That shut down the part of the downtown area. According to City Assistant Fire Chief Ernie Mesowitz, the man had his arm lodged in machinery. City fire personnel got mutual aid assistance from Steve's Volunteer, Fort Wainwright, and University of Alaska fire departments to help with the situation. Now, luckily, the man wasn't seriously injured in the mishap and was transported to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital for treatment. Reached for comment, Mesowitz explained the reason for the large response in fire personnel.
Made for some real tense moments.
Well, the big thing there is, we have a power plant and, there's potential dangers there. The power plant's still operational, so we had to make things safe for the firefighters and rescue personnel as well as the patient itself. So it takes a little bit longer to go over and get things set up. Once we had all the safety measures in place, then it was just a matter of slowly moving things away to be able to extricate the patient.
For the past couple of years, many speakers have voiced concern and skepticism about the economic outlook for the state. Today, the state commissioner for the Department of Natural Resources expressed optimism that the state was actually on the verge of economic recovery. Dan Sullivan told an audience today that because of an agreement with Exxon Oil, development of Point Thompson on the North Slope would mean more jobs for Alaskans and an economic bonus for the state.
It's a cautious note of optimism. But in terms of what happened in the past year, we did see a lot more investment, particularly by some very big companies. And there's a lot of exploration going on. We haven't gotten word back yet of what that is bringing about, but we're going to continue to focus on that. Hey, more drilling, more investment, and getting gas under contract, which the utilities in South Central have concerns about, and so do we.
Some interior residents were woken by a pair of small earthquakes this morning. The first was around 4:30 a.m., centered 5 miles north of North Pole with a magnitude of 2.9. The first quake was felt in Two Rivers as well. The Alaska Earthquake Information Center says the second quake hit in roughly the same area just before 8 a.m. with a magnitude of 2.5. Now, there have been no reports of damage associated with the earthquakes.
Human trafficking was the theme of a meeting in Anchorage yesterday. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has more in this report.
As a result of legislation passed in the last session, the governor appointed a task force to study the issue and see how prevalent it is in Alaska.
And to make recommendations to the administration and the legislature about ways that services for these victims could be improved and where there are gaps in service.
Although you don't normally hear much about trafficking in the U.S., it is here.
It does exist in our state and our communities, and it's really a global problem.
Many of the victims of trafficking are very young.
Many of them are underage. Many of them are trafficked for labor. Forced labor, many trafficked for sex.
The problem of human trafficking has come more into the light with passage of federal laws.
It's been gradually getting more and more scrutiny and more attention in the states, and we're looking at it very seriously here.
The task force has met in Anchorage, Bethel, and Hooper Bay, getting public comment. The meeting yesterday in Anchorage was to put together final recommendations for the legislature. Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
All right, Daryl. Well, I think it's pretty warm out today. What would you say?
Oh, yeah. Warm,
big
good.
Difference.
Big difference.
Warm, good.
Warm, good.
All right, Mike. Is warm good?
I'll tell you what, if you guys like today, you're going to love tomorrow, and you're going to love Thursday, because we're looking at temperatures in the mid-teens. So say goodbye to the ice fog, say goodbye to the really frigid temperatures, and say hello to a few snow showers moving up from the southwest right now. Our friends in our friends in Nenana are looking at some snow shower activity, and it's moving our direction. Nothing really heavy expected, but it does show we are getting winds from the southwest, which means warmer temperatures, and that's going to continue all the way through into the weekend the way it looks right now. In the lower 48, a lot of weather to talk about, major storms. We'll tell you about all the weather later on. Daryl, Stephanie?
Okay, so I guess warm is good, huh?
Warm good.
All right, but when we come back, a man accused of seriously injuring an elder has a court appearance.
Also, a couple finds a unique way to sell their home. Stay with us.
This edition of the Fairbanks Evening News is brought to you by Denali State Bank, your community bank, and by Nissan, innovation that excites.
And welcome back. Not guilty pleas for a 48-year-old Fairbanks man accused of seriously assaulting an elder in Circle earlier this month. Alfred Harold Woods is charged with a single count of first-degree assault. He's currently being housed at the Fairbanks Correctional Center under a no-bail status and faces a maximum 10 years in jail if he's convicted. The victim, identified by family members as 68-year-old John Alexander, was critically injured in the alleged assault. Multiple witnesses told troopers that Woods had been drunk and trying to force his way into several homes to get people to fight with him. Trial in his case is set for early April. Family members of the victim were in attendance at Woods' hearing today and voiced their concerns about the incident.
Well, everybody's in uproar, and I am too, because he is an elder. And the family and all the people in Circle, they don't like it.
Another serious assault was reported also in Circle. 2 Fairbanks men are accused of beating up a third man after he confronted them about spinning their tires in his front yard. The victim told Alaska State troopers that 24-year-old Nolan Peterson knocked him down and that 22-year-old Adam Fields hit him with the butt of a shotgun. Both are charged with first-degree assault in the alleged incident. The man suffered a cut to the eye, kidney damage, and bruises on his upper body. Troopers initially were not able to get to Circle in order to investigate the case because of poor weather. Both Fields and Peterson remain in custody at Fairbanks Correctional Center.
A 39-year-old man from the interior village of Hughes is in jail, accused of sexually abusing a 4-year-old girl, according to Alaska State troopers. Now, in a news release, Brian Sam is charged with a single count of sexual abuse of a minor in the 2nd degree. Troopers arrested Sam in Hughes after their investigation revealed the alleged assault. He is being held at the Fairbanks Correctional Center under a no-bail status.
Laurel and Gordon Carlin of Fairbanks have found a unique way to sell their home. They have opened a nationwide essay contest, and the winner will get the house. There is a $100 entry fee to submit the essay, and the family will choose the top 10 finalists and then post them to their Facebook page. The essay with the most likes will receive the home. They need at least 3,000 entries for the contest to be held, and the close date for entering is April 30th. The maximum number they will allow entered is 3,500 essays.
There's no catch. You write your essay, it's a $100 entry fee. If you get picked, you win the house free and clear. Every essay is going to be totally different. So with me, I would really want to, I guess, like sincerity would be really, and I mean, maybe one person might have a tragedy. Maybe another person might have big plans, a foster home. I mean, I don't know.
The News Center will have more details tomorrow on the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center Final.
A paraplegic Army vet has a new lease on life thanks to a special suit that enables her to walk. Reporter Leah Sutton has the story in this week's Health Report.
The computer senses when that foot hits the ground.
For Army veteran Teresa Hannigan, these simple steps are like a dream. She was exposed to a nerve agent as a Vietnam-era medic, and the treatment left her paralyzed from the waist down.
That's like a death sentence. You don't want to live. You have to find the stamina. You have to find a reason to go on.
But then Teresa was asked to take part in research for the ReWalk rehabilitation system.
It flashes, signals, beeps the computer, says that's what I want to do. 1, 2, 3, here it goes.
The ReWalk is an exoskeleton that allows paraplegics to walk. It's unique because the patient's body tells the device what to do.
My foot clears the floor, I shift away. As soon as I shift away, it cycles from my leg to go forward again.
A push of a button takes her up or downstairs, and before impossible tasks are now made simple. But in some ways right now, it's all a tease. ReWalk is cleared for rehab centers, but the personal version is still being approved.
I can look to the future and say to myself, you know what, if I choose to sit in a wheelchair, I can sit in a wheelchair, but if I want to walk, I can walk now.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
but you know what else is really interesting? Sports.
Well, yeah, Joe Cookie's waiting in the wings, and tonight
Cooking it up?
Yeah, he's cooking it up. A lot of cool sports, high school wrestling, the outcome of a national curling event, winter sports here in Fairbanks. That and more with Joe in sports.
Brought to you by the Law Office of Rita T. Alley. Peace of mind through professional legal services.
Hello, Interior Alaska. It's Joe Cook here. Once again, the sports seat for you. I hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. Now let's talk some sports. KTVF got news today that Tyler Huntington, the two-time former Iron Dog champ, was in a serious accident on Monday while training on the Bering Sea coast. Huntington reportedly hit a piece of driftwood going 90 miles per hour and was thrown from his snow machine. Huntington was medevaced to Anchorage and was scheduled to undergo surgery today. Evan Booth, a former champ, was training with Huntington at the time of the accident and plans to be in next month's race at Huntington's request. We'll have some more information as it becomes available. Now in high school wrestling, the Mid-Alaska Conference Championships in wrestling concluded over the weekend, and the deepest team was the top team as North Pole claimed the team title. There were 13 individual titles won between North Pole and West Valley, the runner-up. Lathrop did have the best wrestler as Sam Zimmerman, who won at 145 pounds, was named the MAC Tournament Most Outstanding Wrestler. Zimmerman won all his matches by at least 15 points. The top 3 finishers advanced to the states. You can find a complete list on webcenter11.com. In high school basketball, it was a grudge match between the Lathrop Malamutes and Monroe Catholic Rams. It was a tight one, but someone had to win. In the end, the victor would be the Rams. Monroe comes back in the fourth quarter to upend the Malamutes 54-47, trailing by 5 going to the fourth. The Rams outscored the Malamutes 22-10 in the final quarter for the win. 4 players scored in double digits for Monroe, led by Jalen McCullers, 11 points. Lathrop was led by the 1-2 punch of Gabriel Cunningham and Everett Green. Cunningham had a game-high 14 points while Green added 13. Monroe continues to find different ways to win.
I decided to come and get my teammates involved. Great teammates. Whenever we have unselfish players like this, it's fun to have, and we love them all.
Well, that fourth quarter, we know we had to settle down. We were down 5 coming in the fourth quarter, and I know I had to go get the ball, set the tempo, finish around the rim for one, and play great defense like we did, and we came out with the win tonight. It was a big one.
The Lady Malamutes had the blowout of the night with a 53-25 win over the Lady Rams of Monroe. Lathrop was only up 7 points at halftime when they ran away with this game with a big third quarter. Alexis Gavora had a team-high 10 points for Monroe. Ruthie Hebert, the Lathrop freshman, had a monster game with 18 points and 19 rebounds. Arisha Talley chipped in 11 points in the win. And now the Nanook swimming team ended their season on a bit of a sour note. UAF was swept by the clan of Simon Fraser 124-71 on day 1 and 124-77 on day 2. Benty Heller was the only winner for UAF, winning the 100 free in 52.52 seconds. Simon Fraser won 10 of the 11 events and set new pool records in the 200 butterfly and 200 medley relay. The Nanooks finished the season 3-5 overall and 2-4 in conference. The Nanooks will travel to La Mirada, California for the Pacific Collegiate Swim and Dive Conference Championships starting February 13th. And the last games for both of the Nanook basketball teams would end in L's. For the men, the Nanooks lost to the top team in the GNAC, the Western Washington Vikings, 79-66. The win gave the Vikings their best win streak in program history at 24 games. For the Nanooks, it was their 3rd straight loss after winning 6 in a row. Pat Voot led 4 Nanooks in double figures with 17 points in the loss. The Nooks are back in the Patty Center this Thursday hosting Northwest Nazarene. For the women's team, another loss. The final was 67-61 going to Western Oregon. The blame for this loss was turnovers. The Nanooks' 19 turnovers turned into 24 Western Oregon points. Taylor Altenberg and Samantha Thornton had good games for the Nooks. Next for the Nanooks are against ranked opponents Western Washington and Salmon Fraser, and those games are on the road. And finishing up over the weekend was the USA Curling Senior National Championships at the Fairbanks Curling Club. A championship and a spot in the World Senior Championships in mid-April in New Brunswick was at stake. The story was the Margie Smith rink from St. Paul, Minnesota. Not only did they win the women's title, but they did that despite being in a car accident right before the title game. Talk about some tough moms and grandmas. The Smith rink won narrowly 5-4 over the Fairbanks Kathy Shuttleworth rink. It was tight, but the Shuttleworth rink went scoreless in the 5th and 6th inning and fell short. For the men, the Gert Messing rink out of Hartsdale, New York, won the title 7-4 over the Dave Jensen rink from Bismarck, North Dakota. The Messing rink scored 4 in the 6th inning to pull away for the win. Congrats to the old school athletes still getting it done. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for joining me, and stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News, everyone. Mike Schultz with you once again for weather. Let's kick things off with a great photograph. This one's sent in by San Gerald. He got up early Sunday morning and got a shot of the aurora over the pipeline. Beautiful shot there. It's a postcard shot. If you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Well, what's going on right now at the airport? 6 below. That's our high for the day. The low last night, 42 below. Record high, 35, 1994. Record low, 58 below, 1933. Sunrise this morning was at 9:46. Sunset at 4:26, which works out to 6 hours, 40 minutes of daylight, a gain of 7 more minutes from yesterday. And our satellite picture showing once again the clouds starting to move in across much of Alaska. In fact, blizzard conditions across the southwest today. As you can see on the latest satellite radar, more moisture moving across the Alaska range, moving into our neck of the woods. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, it's been a sloppy day over southeast Alaska. Rain and snow around Juneau. Some rain around Kodiak Island, and Coal Bay also reporting rain as warmer temperatures move in with that system, but cool still up and down the west coast all the way to Barrow, 14 degrees and 20 below at Fort Yukon. Lots of clear skies there. Lower 48 weather. Again, a lot of weather to talk about over the Pacific Northwest. More rain falling. The storms that were over Texas have moved east. That's bringing lots of severe weather to much of the deep south, and some rain over the northeast part of the country. Here's the storm system we were talking about yesterday, really gathering strength. A lot of energy with this storm system, and behind it, a lot of cold air coming in behind it, and that's going to bring much mixed precipitation over a lot of the country and over the Pacific Northwest also. The jet stream, the driving factor, once again going way up across the north, and then diving down, bringing all that cold air in across the Great Lakes, while the rest of the country looks pretty good. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. First of all, in the northern sections, looking at partly cloudy skies in Barrow, cloudy at Fort Yukon, and snow expected in Nome. Over the interior, looking at warmer temperatures with some snow at Fairbanks and Healy. We're already seeing that on the radar. 8 degrees for the high in Fairbanks. Over southeast Alaska, rain and snow at Juneau, and periods of rain expected at Ketchikan. Over the southwest part of the state, quite a bit of weather going on there. Rain and snow at Bethel and Coal Bay, with rain for Kodiak Island. And it's going to get kind of sloppy down around the Anchorage Bowl. Freezing rain at Anchorage and Homer. 3 to 6 inches of snow expected in Valdez. Well, once again, time for our kids' weather. And this week we're talking with the kids from Tuckasuk Brown Elementary School. Tonight, a young lady has a picture to share with us.
Hi, my name is Jalen. I'm in Miss Nelson's class in Tuckasuk Brown Elementary School. And this is my weather picture. This is a picture of the Alaska Range on a cold, clear day. The sun is setting and the moon is just coming up.
Nice picture, Jaylene. Tomorrow night, a young man will be here with a question for me about weather. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. As you can see, we have one more thing to pass along. We have, once again, an air quality problem going on. It never stops through 5 p.m. tomorrow. Fairbanks and North Pole unhealthy for sensitive groups. Children and those with respiratory problems should remain inside. We'll keep you advised on that. Here's your forecast for tonight. 13 below, cloudy and warmer with scattered snow showers. They're moving into the area as we speak. Tomorrow's forecast, 8 degrees, continued warming with chances for snow off and on. And the extended forecast, again, temperatures very mild, at least in through the weekend, and then a cooling off by Monday, 3 degrees for the high, but still above normal and much better than we've been experiencing since Monday. Excuse me. And we are looking at a possibility of some light snow probably on Thursday, and then after that, just mainly cloudy skies. Overnight lows still very comfortable, but dropping down below 0 for the first time for a while.
Not bad. As we said earlier, warm good.
Yeah, warm, just get those air quality problems going on all the time.
Air bad, warm good though.
Inversions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mike. All right, well, that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad that you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, the battle over immigration reform and the president's new plan. That's next with Brian Williams.
And remember, for all of our news, sports, and weather, go to webcenter11.com.
Or on your phone, on our app.
Yeah, that's true. That too. From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Good night.